Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, poker fans, and other folks on from this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen, and today I'm going to be doing episode 41 review of Pokemon X and Y English dub. Now, because of the whole Turner dish situation, I can't watch Pokemon on TV anymore, so I'm going to be using the websites that I normally give you guys some links to. And as always, links in the description in case you were not able to watch the episode on TV like I wasn't. So today is basically the next part of the Pokemon Summer Camp arc. Next week's episode is going to be the last one, and then after that we get to the Karina gym leaders or gym fights episode. So super excited. Today was they've done this not only in the previous camp, but I believe they do this quite a bit. It's that whole race where you got to get the stamps. I'm pretty sure they've done this at least once in every generation or in every region, but I'm not quite sure. But it feels that way. It feels that way. You know, where you go on a race, a foot race, you got to go to certain areas, you got to get a stamp, and then you move on to the next one, you get a stamp, and yada yada yada. They did something which I was kind of confused about because the way Sycamore was talking about is that Ash's team and Tierno's team have the same amount of points, which I don't know if that's true. And then again, I haven't been calculating, so it's not like I can, strictly say, hey, no, this is what happens. No, but I don't know. It just doesn't sound right to me personally. But anyway, so they're split up into teams, and they're gonna go on foot race to get the stamps. Ash Ash's team gets the first one. They have to climb like a cliff, and then one of the assistants is at the top, and then they get the stamp and they put it on. And so Ash got Brokey, whereas Tierno had Squirtle. Which I should probably mention that they in one of my previous videos that I made, I was talking about how there's a big concern in terms of rivalries, and I think that they kind of showed which ones are going to be rivals. It's going to be Ash with Tierno, which I kind of expected. Serena or Shoshana, which we already knew about, and then Clement is going to be with Trevor. I don't know how that rivalry is going to work, but whatever. I mean, at least Clement has a rival. The other one, to me personally, that doesn't make sense is Tierno, because Tierno is not going to be a gym battler. So I don't know. I'm still hoping for an actual legit rival for Ash. And they're both going to face off in the league. I don't know. It might be. I don't know if it's a little late for that, but I think they could still make it work. To be quite honest. So they have to climb a cliff, and then Tierno was with Squirtle, and Squirtle, Squirtle knows how to move, and they're actually going pretty good. Ash has Froakie, and they're like climbing up the wall slowly, but carefully, and then Squirtle actually ends up falling, and then Tierno catches it, but it loses its balance, and then he starts to fall, and then Ash makes a cushion of Frobbles, it tells Froakie to make a cushion of Frobbles, and Tierno's saved, and then they keep climbing, right? And then Froakie gets to the top first, with Ash's help, and then Froakie I don't know, it kind of was kind of dumb, but it was kind of nice. Froakie kind of like helps Ash up, even though I don't think Froakie really has the strength to pick up Ash. But it's the thought that counts, right? He was trying to help Ash come up to the top. And then they go over there and they're gonna get the first stamp, and they actually did it together. Like Ash got the thing, and then Froakie and him stamped the map thing that they have. I thought that was nice, and obviously Tierno and them got the next one. And then Ash was sliding down while Tierno was still climbing up. So after that, they kind of they were getting the foot race. And for some reason, even though Ash's team should have left first, Tierno's team was in front, and then it was like a bridge. And Shauna was cool like this. She had she did the like Bulbasaur had Vine Whips, and it was grabbing the ropes of the bridge, and then the other Vine Whip was holding Shauna. And so Shauna was walking it and then Bulbasaur kept grabbing onto the next part and then grabbing onto the next part while still holding Shauna. And then Finnegan's walking and Serena's like crawling, grabs her tail, And it's like, hold on, Finnegan. Finnegan's like, oh gosh, I gotta drag her too. Oh my gosh, it was. I honestly was like, this was definitely not one for Serena, but I think Finnegan still went. Just kept going, and then after that, you had it was Clement and Trevor, right? And it was like a cave. It was kind of. I think of it like back in Johto when Ash wanted to get Cynical, you know how there was like a mountain face with like a bunch of different holes. Just picture it like that. Not all holes are exits, but they're all kind of interconnected. So it's like so Clement went into with Bunnelby. They're like walking in there and stuff, and they keep looking out, and then Trevor and Charmander like start poking their heads around, and Clement gets to the top first. Him and Bunnelby stamp, and then they move on. And essentially, the foot race, like they keep, it's kind of like a back and forth type of thing. Like we don't really see it, but that's how we can picture it. And like they all get stamps, and they're in the lead. And so like the assistant tells Professor Sycamore, hey, Team Froakie and Team Squirtle are right now in the lead. They have collected all the stamps. They're on their way. And so like Sycamore's like, I kind of expected this. I knew those two teams would be in the top. And I'm like, that's kind of messed up, man. You're supposed to think of everybody as equals when you're a camp counselor. Anyways, so they're running, right? They're getting the foot race. And then kind of like a fog shows up. And so like the gang is like running in there, and then Ash's squad kind of got separated from Tierno's squad, and then Ash like ended up running into a branch, smacked himself right in the face, and then they start like, hey, let's take it easy, let's walk calmly, take it step by step so when you don't get lost. And I'm like, there we go, let's think ahead. And they're walking through, and then Bonnie gets separated. Like she is actually like completely gets separated, and Pikachu actually runs back to get her, but then they both get lost, especially because Bonnie. We saw Xerneas. The thing I hated the fact that they did it. I mean, they kind of pulled a Suicune. I don't know if you guys remember when we first saw Suicune in the anime. They kind of did this whole mysterious feel to it, where you couldn't see it because it was blocked by the fog and mist. Like we could tell it was Suicune, but they weren't gonna show it. So that's kind of what they pulled. Like we could see the antlers, and we can see the basic shape of it, but we really couldn't see Xerneas. Like we saw the rainbow. Literally, the only thing that we really could tell was the rainbow antlers. And Bonnie got so awe-inspired by the thing, like she started walking towards it. Remember, Xerneas is the Pokemon of life. So the flowers that were right there started blooming. Everything started coming alive. And so Bonnie got more excited, and she kept going after it, but then Xerneas disappeared. And then they ended up being chased by a Beedrill, which caused Pikachu obviously to defend her. And then like went over this tree trunk, and like the gang is looking for her. Oh, excuse me. They're looking for her. Now, when Bonnie and Pikachu go over the tree, it's technically like a fallen tree. They land on an Amoonguss, and the Amoonguss wasn't very happy, so it released its spore. And because of that, Bonnie, the Danny, and Pikachu like start running away, but they've already been hit with spore. So they're like kind of that. The Danny is the first one to fall asleep, and then Pikachu just ends up crashing on the floor. Like he legitimately just like crashed. And Bonnie's walking like she's like all tired. She can't see. And there's like this freaking crevice in the middle, like a freaking ravine, just in the middle of. It just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, Bonnie, no, no, no. I mean, obviously, I know she wasn't gonna die. Nobody dies in freaking Pokemon, well, except for those few occasions. And even though people die, but it's not like we see it. So, and besides, she's the main character. She can't die. So anyway, she started running. Not running, but she kept on walking, and then she like fell off the cliff. And I'm like, and then like she got lifted up by a Drifblim, and then I don't like, it was weird. Like she ended up kind of like falling down, and then she actually ended up like landing on the other side of the ravine. And then Ash had sent out like Ash and them who were searching. They ended up teaming up with Tierno's squad to look for Bonnie. They found footprints, and they were gonna go over there or follow footprints while Ash sent out Fletchender to search. Uh, Now they're still looking, but the footprints only go so far. Fletchender ends up finding Bonnie, comes back, or like kind of like signals, "Hey, this is where we're at," and then they go over there, and then the same thing happens with them. They end up running into the Amoonguss, and the Amoonguss sent out a spore. Like it's actually like it's funny because Ash and I believe it was Shauna landed beside it, and then Tierno was the first one to land on top of it, and like Ash and them didn't bother it, right? Ash and Shauna didn't bother it. Clement ends up going the same way Ash and Shauna did. Squirtle lands on Amoonguss, and then Serena jumps on top of it as well. So the Amoonguss gets pissed and starts spreading its spore again. And then they're like, "Oh snap!" And then Trevor's like, "Use water move," and he's like, "Squirtle, water gun," and then like starts shooting it. And then Ash and Clement, I like this. I like this a lot. It's like Ash is like, "Clement, let's do this." He's like, "Right," and then like it's like they already knew what they were gonna do. Like Ash sends out Brokey, and then Clement sends out Chespin, and then it's like water bullet, spin missile, and like make it rain. And then obviously because Ash is Ash, he's like, "Amoonguss, we're sorry," and then Amoonguss is like, "I'm out of here," and they keep on going. And then they almost fell, but well, not really. It was kind of those things where they're like, "Oh my gosh, if we hadn't stopped running, we would have fallen down." And then Ash notices Pikachu passed out over there. He's like, "Pikachu!" And like runs over there. It's like, "Pikachu, you okay? You okay? What is wrong with you?" And then it's like, "Oh, he's sleeping. I wonder if he got hit by the Amoonguss spore." And then like Trevor notices something in the other side of the ravine, like with his camera. He's like, "Is that?" And then Clement's like, "Oh my gosh, it's Bonnie." And they're like, "How the heck did she get over there?" And so they're like, "Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?" And then they see the group of Driftlings down below in the ravine. And then Clement's like, "Maybe if we do this," and then like him and Trevor, they do this whole thing where they know what they're gonna do. Like they know what to do. Talking about how they're gonna startle the Driftlings, and then the Driftlings would float up. Oh gosh, dang it, my bad, guys. And they're supposed to use them as a bridge essentially. But the thing is, Driftlings tend to float around, so you have to kind of. It's not like hopscotch. You got to jump, hop, and then try to get to the other side. And and so Clement's like, "I'll do this." And then okay, I know it's all for the sake of Ash being the hero, but that was kind of messed up. I kind of laughed, but I was just like, why? Because he's like, "No, I'll do this. I'm better at this anyways." And I'm like, "Whoa, Ash, you can't just this is this man's sister." Like Clement was all about it because it was his sister. It's his job to protect her, to save her, to help her. So he's like, "I'll do this," even though Clement isn't the most athletic of the group. He was willing to do this for his sister. And Ash is like, "No, I got this. I can do this. I've been doing this for my entire life, okay?" And so like they end up doing it, and then Ash like does the whole jumps across. Bonnie's passed out on the ground. Ash carries her, goes again, jumps. Uh, Breeze, like this draft just came out of nowhere. I mean, we kind of should have expected that because things like that always tend to happen. So a draft comes, and then Ash ends up messing up, or like not messing up, but the Driftlings get too far away from the other side, and Pikachu wakes up. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck's Ash doing on top of a Driftling?" Like he's like freaking out, and then Ash's like, "Okay, now or never." He like jumps, and then he ends up missing the ledge. And Pikachu just jumps down and grabs him, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And then Clement had grabbed Pikachu with the Apom arm, and like saves everybody, and then everybody's okay, and then they see Xerneas in the back again, like, what's up? And I'm like, oh my gosh, freaking Xerneas. They end up losing, by the way. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, link in the description so you guys can watch the episode. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.